Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, the first Sunday of the new year. Well, what's going on? With us today is Dr. Michalos. And live long and prosper is his motto. And, Doctor, what can we do to live a little bit longer?
Well, today we're going to talk about a fascinating new area of medicine. And we talk a lot about anti-aging and anti-aging medicine. But the area of medicine is called regenerative medicine. And the word, of course, has regeneration in it. And a big part of regenerative medicine involves stem cells. And stem cells, we all have stem cells in our body. And what are they? They're the unique master cells, the master healing cells that can actually make copies of themselves and self-renew. And they can develop into many different specialized cells in the body, like muscle, nerves, blood cells. And they basically are our internal repair system. And they replace worn-out cells. And that's why people seek stem cells. And they are what's called unspecialized, because they haven't become anything specific. And when somebody gives you, for example, stem cells, you can't reject them because they don't have what's called antigens on them. You don't recognize them as a foreign body. They're like the universal donor cell. And they're very crucial for healing injuries, potentially treating diseases. For example, if someone has leukemia, they give you a whole bunch of chemotherapy to knock out your bone marrow that makes our red blood cells. And then they put the stem cells in the IV, and they know to travel to the body inside the bone marrow and start making new, healthy red blood cells and white blood cells. And that's how they're able to cure some cases of leukemia. So it's a fascinating area. There's another area that a lot of people hear about. It's called PRP, where they take your blood, they spin it down, and they take some of your stem cells and they inject it in a knee or an arm or a leg. But that's like getting, for example, 10,000 stem cells versus getting real stem cells that are collected from placenta or umbilical cords. That's like getting 10 million stem cells in one shot, and they tend to be more helpful. Not everybody responds the same, but it is a big deal. And we're seeing exciting things like at Columbia University with Dr. Stanley Chang and Dr. Rab at the New York Stem Cell Foundation that I know you've been a generous supporter of. And they're going to be doing some stem cells on eyes and trying.
Well, she was on my show on Tuesday last week, and she talked about that they take skin and they take your own blood to create the new stem cells, and by doing that, there's no need for anti-rejection medicines.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's another center. There's a Dr. Moviglia at the Wake Forest University, and he also does it down in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where they take your fat cells. They basically do a mini liposuction, grow your own fat cells, and they take the stem cells out, and then you go and you get it injected. And I have friends and actually medical school classmates who've gone and had their various body parts injected, shoulders, and they've gotten better because they grow a bunch of your stem cells. So they collect, let's say, 10,000 stem cells. They put them in sterile culture medium, and they grow 10 million stem cells, and they're using that as well, which is an exciting field. But other areas that are also extremely excited, there's a company called BioViva where they basically edit your DNA to improve it, and they have done it. There's a lady who started because her son had type 1 diabetes and saw that it was a genetic disease, and then it grew into a company that they're actually doing it now offshore. It'll probably end up in the United States. And BioViva attaches gene editing onto a virus that goes into your body, and it's made the telomeres longer, which theoretically can make you live longer. And they also were able to improve cognitive performance, and people's IQs actually went up by 10 to 20 points. And that's already been done. 200 people have already done it. and it exists, and we're going to be hearing a lot more about it. And a fellow named Peter Demandis, who has the X Prize for longevity, has featured this person who runs this company, and that's going to be another thing we're going to be hearing a lot about, where we can edit out the bad genes, just like at the Columbia University gala that you were part of. They talked about editing for sickle cell and splicing out the bad gene and curing people with sickle cell, which is a disease that a lot of people suffer, and of course African Americans suffer from it disproportionately. And this is a major area that people are going to start getting help through gene editing. And then finally, in regenerative medicine, we talked about the OSK Yamanaka factors, the Nobel Prize in Medicine by a Japanese doctor who found that we each have a copy of our younger version software, and that they've injected it into mice and that were blind, made them see. They've done it in apes, made them see, and now the human trials are starting. And that's why guys like Jeff Bezos have invested $500 million into a company called Altos Labs out in California, and the great work of David Sinclair at Harvard. And they're now going to do human trials, and it'll be amazing if they can restore vision in blind glaucoma people, and that will help people with diabetic retinopathy and macular degeneration. So a lot of exciting things happening in regenerative medicine. So that's why it's important to try to stay as healthy as possible and optimizing our labs, because our lab work is very important. It's like the dashboard on our car or the screen on a jet that tells you what all the fluid levels are. The same thing. We need to know all our levels, and when we optimize those levels, you really can extend your health span, which is what it's all about for the new year. And that's why a good physical starts the new year. Everyone should do that. Get their EKG, the women their breast exams, their pap smear tests, the men their PSA tests, their colonoscopies, blood work, and start the new year and know where you are, where you stand. So, you hear about all these people with sudden deaths, but you find out they weren't having regular doctor visits and they weren't taking care of themselves. Something simple as going for dental cleanings, 2-3 times a year. They've shown that will improve your chance of not having a heart attack and a stroke, because they found the same bacteria in the mouth, in the heart plaques, inside heart and heart valves. So, and now even for finding out if you have coronary blockages, they have something called a CAT scan angiogram. They inject a dye. They could tell you what your ejection fraction is, which is the pumping ability of your heart, and they can actually see blockages without even having to stick a catheter up your arm and inject it. So medicine has, as you always say, has improved light speed, and now we're seeing in the current administration
it's warp speed.
Great progress.
Warp speed exceeds light speed.
Yeah, no, it's really amazing and a very exciting time. And thank God in America we have a capitalist system that allows the people to invest money and research and development money, and the rest of the world gets to follow what we do. And that's why so many of the amazing, great inventions have happened right here in the United States. And I just want people to keep listening to WABC, and we'll keep updating our audience on these new and exciting areas that are happening throughout the United States. And, of course, we always share with the rest of the world.
Dr. Peter Michalos, I will give you your 100th birthday party. That means I'll be 110 by then. Thank you so
God willing,
much.
John. Thank you for always getting the truth out on the Cats Roundtable.
God bless.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.